Quilters, today is the show and tell for the first 2023 AQS AccuQuilt-Along project.
Stay tuned to see how everyone's finished quilts turned out.
Hi Quilters, I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert.
And I'm Erica Botker, AccuQuilt's creativity expert.
Welcome to today's event called the 2023 AQS and AccuQuilt-Along Series, Stars in the Crown Throw Quilt. Today is all about show and tell. We're going to show off our finished Go Stars in the Crown Throw Quilts and sharing many of yours as well.
That's right. Now, if this is the first show that you're tuning into for this quilt-along, we do want to recommend watching each one of the other shows in order to create yours alongside of us. It's never too late. We'd love to have you make one.
We started with the introduction show on February 1st,
right,
where we explained all that you need to get started, pattern requirements, the pattern, how to get it to make Stars in the Crown.
Then from February 15th up until March 8th, we cut, we sewed, we quilted the Stars in the Crown Throw Quilt with you in different sections.
All of these shows live on the AccuQuilt website under Video Gallery. They're also on our Facebook page, and you can find them on our YouTube channel.
That's right. I also wrote blog posts for extra tips and tricks for each part of this quilt-along. And the introduction blog, which was on February 1st for us and January 30th for our friends at AQS, has rotary cutting directions included for you as well.
All right, without further ado, let's get started on our show and tell today. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to start things off.
So Erica actually has finished and quilted her quilt.
Well, I have finished, I have quilted, and I am in the process of finishing my binding, as you can see. So here is my finished top. I just followed straight along the pattern. So I did the 2.5-inch strip for the border. I used a 2.5-inch strip for my binding. The only thing is that I really wanted to see a nice amount of that polka dot, so I actually did a 3/8-inch seam so that it is just a wee bit bigger on that binding. Just a little.
And then Erica, what size cube did you use?
So Pam and I, we both used the 8-inch cube, which is the same size that the rotary cutting directions are. So I just followed my pattern. Now I went with this fun gingham as kind of a focus fabric, and I wanted to pull that darker blue. I had enough of the gingham to put it on the back, which really made me happy.
So cute. And then talk about how you quilted it.
I did really basic quilting on this one. So I did a little echo of the stars, and then I just did stitch in the ditch right around that center part and around the center of each square. I went around, again, stitch in the ditch. I have that new stitch in the ditch foot, right? I had to take it out for a spin. So I've seen so many great quilting options that other people have done. But this is what I ended up doing.
And are you going to keep this, or are you giving this as a gift?
I am going to keep it. It is going to go behind my desk, so that'll be my new background for all of my work phone calls.
There you go. I think you did a great job.
Border binding finish.
Yeah, she'll get it done this.
And it needs a little bit of a haircut, you know.
It does.
I've got some threads going on.
All right, and Emily is not with us today. She's out sick.
That's right. Emily is out sick.
Erica and our team are going to post our questions. If you have questions, you can put them in the comments section.
Well, I'm not posting anything, but the other people are. So if you have any questions for us, you can go ahead, put those in the comment section. The team is going to put them in so that we can see them here on our computer screen and answer those for you.
So if you have questions, you can totally do that.
It's like event magic.
It is so magical. All right, so here is my finished quilt top.
Speaking of magical.
So excited. Okay, and I totally went rogue to finish mine. So first of all, Erica, can you point that I did different borders?
So you did do different borders. You went ahead and pulled the yellow from your stars and did a wide border.
4.5.
4.5. Then you pulled your ladybug fabric. Basically, this was all a way to pull more ladybug fabric
Yes.
into this quilt.
Yes.
And put 4.5-inch strip up here so that she could take 4 more stars
Yes.
and put them in the corners. Really, because you wanted yours to be a little bit bigger.
I did. I just wanted it to be a little bit big. And someone on our Facebook page posted theirs, and they had done this where they had,
Yes.
this finishes to an 8-inch block. So I cut 2 4.5-inch borders that will finish to 4 inches. So sewn together, they'll finish to 8. And then I kind of did a little fun thing here, whereas the top and the bottom have the yellow face in the quilt, and the sides have the ladybug fabric.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I feel like this was such good
It was just
sunshine.
fun sunshine fabric. And then for binding, which one are you going to use?
My beautiful blue, the blue robin egg
Right,
blue
so
in there.
that's really going to pull that little hint of blue all the way out to the edge.
Right.
I think that's fabulous. And you're right, you know, the AQS Quilting Project Parade Facebook group,
Right.
where everyone was sharing their, oh
Yes.
dear,
That's okay. Go ahead.
log
and talk.
back in. While everyone was sharing things, was such a great inspiration for us. I mean, we really saw things that
was.
really inspired us. I shall log back in.
So just like Erica, I also use my 8-inch cube, and I just love the thought of how AccuQuilt allows you to take a project. If you want to make it bigger, think about using a variety of borders, and you're going to see some really great way people have laid out their quilts and how they've added to it.
That's right.
So I am going to quilt it myself.
Yes.
And I think I'm gonna we have a long arm upstairs, and I think I'm just gonna, our good friends at Handy Quilter
Yes.
gave it to us on loan. I think I'm just gonna do all over like stippling, because there's so many
There's a lot going on.
a lot of points.
There is a lot going on.
And then, like I said, I'm gonna bind it in blue. And I think I'm gonna just get a solid, like maybe that blue or something for
Yeah.
the back.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited.
People are loving your borders, by the way.
Thank you.
Now, we did have a question on my binding. So here's the thing on my binding. I cut the 2.5-inch strip. I'm going to show Greg. That's okay. He can see it.
Okay.
And sewed my 3/8 of an inch onto the front with the machine, turned it onto the back, and I am hand finishing it.
Because that's what Erica loves
Because
to do.
I actually really like hand finishing my binding.
I am probably going to do the opposite. I'm going to sew that 2.5-inch strip to the back. I'm going to flip it to the front and use a decorative stitch to
Yes.
just stitch it down with my domestic machine, which is really fun.
Absolutely.
But we have loved being able to see how each quilt came together on our Facebook page while we were making ours. And again, it's not too late. If you're just joining us today and you say, I want to make that,
Yeah.
there's a die for that.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Hey, Penny would like you to explain again how you added those corners
Oh,
on
yes.
with your border.
yes, here we go. Okay, so Penny, here's the kind of the cool thing. Remember last week, Erica talked about measuring your quilt? So what I did was I measured my quilt, I sewed my 2 strips together, and then I cut them so that they would come here.
So you'd add the sides first.
I added the sides first.
Then you put the star onto either end of your
Yes.
strips for the top and the
Yes,
bottom.
then I added my star. And because I measured, it worked out perfectly, and I pressed my seams so that they would nest. And I thought it was great. I thought that this was a really good project to start with.
It really was.
The block itself wasn't difficult. We had setting triangles, which is super
fun
fun.
to make. It was great. We worked on some great basic units. I mean, the square on point, get lots of questions on that. Flying geese, they're just great skill builders.
Oh, yeah.
And again, using those square on point. So we've had a few more questions. Somebody wanted to know about your backing, but I think you mentioned you were going to look for a blue.
I'm just going to do a solid blue on the background. I didn't have enough scraps. I love a good scrappy back.
Yeah.
But I didn't have enough scraps to really make it worthwhile. So I think I'm just going to do a solid blue. And I'll post my finished one on
that Facebook group?
Facebook page.
Absolutely. Okay, now we've got some finished quilts to share from all of you, and the first 2 are from Gail L. and Annette A.
Okay, Erica, let's talk about this because they have completely different colorways. And Gail actually extended hers out a little bit.
She did.
She added some extra blocks there, so it's more of a rectangle shape than a square. And I love the fact that she just created more blocks because they were so easy to make.
Absolutely,
So easy.
absolutely.
And then Anita's was super cute. I love that polka dot.
Yeah, I love the fabrics. I love a good polka dot. You could see that in mine.
Yeah.
And I love how Gail's creates a secondary focal point there in the center of the quilt.
Right. And also, we made ours in 8-inch cubes. So really, if you wanted it bigger, you could use the 12-inch cube, add more borders, add more blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, the possibilities are endless. Okay. Next, we have projects from Candace B and Carol J. So first of all, Carol for the win, because I think it has Halloween-y fabric.
Oh, I think so. I think those are pumpkins. That is super fun. And I mean, it's Halloween with a touch of purple. You cannot go wrong with
Right.
that,
I feel like she made that for both of us.
And Candace, I love Candace's color combination. I love that background fabric. I
It's
don't
kind
know
of
what that is.
It looks a little batik here.
It looks like a watercolor, but then she's done a double border, and I've seen lots of quilters go with the double border, and it really does accent the design really well. I love how that looks.
And it was a simple, you know, she just added another strip there to the side. So I think it's fabulous.
Okay, now we had a couple questions, so let's go back to the computer for a second. Let's see. Is there a chart to figure out which die to use for half square triangles? It can get so confusing when using commercial patterns. You know what, Dottie? That is confusing.
Yes.
But here's the magic number. There's two ways to do that.
Yes.
If you are reading a commercial, somebody else's pattern, quite often they're going to have all these, they're going to have you cut squares, they're going to have you sewing from corner to corner, blah, blah, blah.
Trim your edges.
Keep going. It's like reading a mystery.
Good novel.
It's like reading a mystery. You're looking for the clues. Keep reading on that section, and it's probably going to have the magic words trim to, say, 4.5 inches.
Right.
That's your clue. If it's 4.5 inches, it's going to finish to 4. That half square triangle would be a 4-inch finished half square triangle.
Right, and keep in mind, quilters, that we, on our cube system and all of our geometric shapes, we add that 1/4 inch. So you're gonna see, it's gonna say on the label, 4.5 inch half square triangle finishes to 4 inches. We give you all the information.
Right, and if you go ahead and download the free 216 mix and match quilt block brochure, that's got a chart that has the size of every die inside of every cube.
Right. And you can save it as a PDF. You don't have to print it out.
Right, you don't have to. So somebody else wanted to take a look at my quilt again. So Pam, if you'll hold this up, I'm going to answer a binding question.
Okay, you bet. Hey, and we need to give a huge shout out to Katie and Morgan and Lauren for helping us.
Do this
in our
little
comments
video
section.
magic here. So here's my quilt again, and Dottie had a question. Oh no, that was Lynette had a question about the 3/8 inch with my binding, if that's better for a beginner. And I'm going to say no. I would go with a 1/4 inch. I just did mine a little bit bigger for aesthetic reasons.
Yes, normally I do a 1/4 inch, then press it over. But Erica wanted more of this pretty blue fabric to show.
Yes, and it does make it a little bit of a tighter binding, which is okay for me because I'm used to doing this. But for a beginner, I think you're going to want that wiggle room that's going to come with that 1/4 inch seam allowance.
Yeah.
Great questions. Okay, let's see. And yes, there is a picture of my quilt again in the blog today. Alyssa just reminded me of that.
Thank you, Alyssa.
It may be a picture of it with safety pins on it from when I was quilting it, but there is a picture of it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Got some more pictures?
Yes, we have some more projects.
Okay.
Okay, take a look at these two from Donna A and Cindy M. Okay, first of all, they almost look like the same colorway, don't they?
They really do. It threw me off for a minute. They're very similar, but yet very different, aren't they?
Now, Cindy obviously has finished hers, quilted hers, put a binding, and put it on a bed. And doesn't it look stunning? But look at Cindy. So she did the exact same thing I did. She just made it bigger by adding borders.
And I don't know if she's done it all the way up or if she's done it just lengthwise so that it's really more of almost a bed runner kind of look.
Like a rectangle look.
On the solid gray bedspread is stunning.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
That is a fabulous look.
And I love Donna's with that floral print. I feel
that
like
pretty?
so many of our quilters had beautiful florals, and I am hoping that you love these as much as we are loving them, because you did such a great job. And I love that little border in the center with the flowers. I think it's great.
Yes. Oh, Maureen.
Hi,
Maureen wants to know if there's going to be more quilt-alongs this year. Yes.
Yes, there is.
4 more this year.
We're gonna sew all year long.
All year long.
Here's what I realized, Erica.
Yes.
As I was finishing my quilt top, I thought we should have a sew along for every project I make, so that I make sure that it gets
Make sure
done
you
in a
get done.
timely fashion. Yes, we'll talk about it more here in just a little
Yes,
bit.
stay tuned.
Yeah, we're gonna give you a sneak peek.
Stay tuned. Okay.
All right.
So we've got some more quilts, and truly, if your quilt is not in the show, it is not because we did not love it. We would have been here all day
Right.
having all of your quilts. There's so many people that participated.
But AQS in
Yes.
their blog today has all of the quilts that have the hashtag. Is that right? Am I speaking out of
It
turn?
is. And they're going to continue to update their page about this. So go ahead and be sure you check in on our friends at AQS.
Right.
Because and if you don't see your quilt, you can send it to them.
Yeah.
They'll get it up there. It talks about it in their post today. And if it isn't up yet, it's coming because I read it. She sent it to me early.
And
Thanks,
quilters,
Betsy.
did you know you can go to that Facebook page and in the search engine, just put in the hashtag AQSews, and it will bring up all of them.
That is a great
that
reminder.
used the
Yes.
hashtag. Yeah,
Yes.
so we're excited. So yes, we saw so many quilts, and it was hilarious because Eric and I watched them, look through them separately, and we're calling each other. We're like, okay, did you see this one? Did you see this one? It was so fun. All right.
All right, let's look at some more. These are by Sandy N. Oh, that looks very much
Very
like mine.
familiar.
And Carol S. Now, Carol, again, has expanded hers, but she expanded hers even more.
Right, and I feel like it's a huge, big table runner, and how pretty
Yes.
is that?
That is because that means that is one heck of an island that she's got at her house or table.
Or table. I feel like it could go at the Gibney's house. It's so big.
And Sandy, I love how you did that double border on it.
Yes.
It makes me feel like I missed an opportunity, but I love how mine turned out.
No, we were talking about that earlier on
Yeah.
so many of yours when we looked through them. You had just like a double border. You had that just small little pinch of color.
Yep.
And then a wider border. So Carol, again, she made hers so that they were made a rectangle, and Sandy followed the pattern except for the borders, which I think are beautiful.
Right. That was one thing I really loved about this pattern, was it really gave everybody a great opportunity to personalize it, make it your own.
Yes.
And that's something that we're looking for with all of our quilt-alongs this year.
I
Maybe
think
that's
so.
a hint.
All right, do we have more
Okay,
questions?
I don't know. I was just going to check.
Okay.
Lots of, let's see. Will there be other sew-alongs?
Yes.
Yes, we said that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, shall we show the last two pairs?
Okay, let's show these. These are by Lisa S and Cheryl D. Okay, I fell in love with that background fabric in Lisa S's quilt.
Right.
Did that not just
It
sing?
just it was
It's
so
just
pretty.
happy.
And I thought it was beautiful that the colors in the stars were kind of scrappy. I mean, I can't even tell you what it
Yeah,
it just had a print on it that matched so beautifully, and then that orange.
And I do like a print.
I
I am kind of a print girl. I've really learned to love solids a lot more as my quilting career has gone along.
I have as well.
But boy, that's a really fun background. Backgrounds don't have to be white or gray or black. They can be rainbow polka dot.
Now, Cheryl used hers and added some extra blocks.
Yes.
And
yes.
I thought that was so beautiful to just take
pinks.
the pinks and add the extra blocks using your
And
cube.
a little scrappy looking on the border too. That was fun.
Right, so think about this, quilters. I mean, we made those star blocks with our 8-inch cube, but you could make any block with your cube that finishes to 8 inches.
Right.
And so think about, how that's going to work, next time.
Right. You could pick another block and do the same basic setting.
You could.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
That's
turn
a
those
great
on
point.
point. I know, in my quilting head, I'm already thinking about stuff. All right, finally, Deanna S and Lori S. Oh my gosh, with her help of Hank, gave us our 2 final projects. So first of all, Deanna made this for me, I'm pretty darn sure, and you as well.
Yes, because it is not only
Halloween
Halloween, but it has a purple Halloween print. I love
and
purple
gnomes.
And gnomes.
That she fussy cut.
And put
we've
in the
talked
middle
about
of those squares. We talked a lot about fussy cutting in yesterday's show.
Yes.
And it really packs a punch, but.
Right. And look how Dan did this, because she gave the illusion of that border going into the star block when she just used the same border for the inside as she did on the background.
Right, and so it just kind of is like a frame almost, and just a little bit different. It's really cool how
Someone
she did
else
that.
in our group, like day 2, posted Halloween fabric, and I thought, dang, can I change mine? But the next one is Lori with Hank. Hank is her best helper.
Yes.
And Erica, what kind of dog is he?
Hank's a corgi.
Just like Riley.
I could tell he was. He was so cute. Yeah.
And he's the best helper. And I have to tell you, I feel like so many of us have pets that help us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Pearl, I have a cat, Pearl, and she has just recently discovered she can walk on the sewing table.
Oh dear.
So the other day I was sitting there sewing, and there's Pearl. She's sitting right there looking at me, and I put down my my tiny little scissors, my little Karen K. Buckley scissors, and she saw me. She's like batting them around, and she's having the best time. I don't know.
Riley likes, so all of my nice soft cuddle fabric scraps from backings, I now just throw them underneath my sewing table, because then Riley just nests in them and sleeps while I sew.
Yes.
He is not as good at laying out quilt blocks as Hank is. I feel like Hank was like getting in there and, no mom, this one goes here, this one goes there.
I feel like he was giving direction.
Yeah, I think he was in charge of the whole operation.
All right, are there more questions? Are we good?
Let's see. Oh.
Okay.
What is your favorite cube size?
Okay.
This is like picking your favorite child.
So in my case, I have one of those.
Oh, she doesn't. She's very open about it, too.
And his brother knows that. I mean, it's not a secret in our family. Okay, so if I were redoing this project again, I for sure would make it with the 12-inch cube, because I would love to see it bigger. And I would have added, I would have also made it rectangle to add some more blocks, and then also a double border on it. So I really feel like if I'm going to make stars in the crown, I mean, it doesn't matter, how many half-square triangles I sew together, or flying geese. I just think I would have made it better. So for this one, if a do-over was allowed, I would do it in the 12-inch cube. What about you?
I love the 8-inch because it is so versatile.
Right, and
However,
it comes in the Ready, Set, Go.
It comes in the Ready, Set, Go. It plays so well with others. But I really was fascinated by the people that were making it out of the 4-inch size cube. And I think that I may gather my scraps and make a 4-inch size version.
Do you have enough scraps, do you think?
I think maybe I do. If I don't, I know where to get more.
Yeah, we know where to buy that fabric.
Or I could substitute something else. Now, I was really impressed, speaking of scraps, by how many of our quilters said that they pulled everything for their project out of their scraps and their stash.
Yeah, I love that.
Impressive. And doesn't it make you feel good when you use up all those scraps?
Absolutely. Now, we didn't, we saw one and we'd already created the graphics for the show, but somebody made placemats out of the stars in the crown.
You know what? I put those in the blog today.
Oh, good.
So you are going to see some different projects in the blog than what you saw in the show today.
I just thought that was brilliant to just...
She said she didn't need any more lap quilts. She decided to make placemats. And I have been on a placemat kick for my kitchen. Well, I moved into this house a year ago, but I'm still like, fluffing it a little bit. And so... placemats are a great way to do that, and they make great gifts as well.
Yes.
So we had, let's see, do we have questions? Cassandra wanted to know, is it best to use the companion cubes? I'm not exactly sure what she meant by that question, but I'm going to go with, you want your companion cubes, but your companion cubes need to match the same size as your mix and match cube.
Right, if you have an 8-inch cube, you need 8-inch companions, 9-inch cubes, so forth. It's not like your friends in real life that are different sizes. They have to be the same size.
They got to play together.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
They're designed to work together in the same size. Let's see.
Oh, and Jeannie wants to know how big my quilt will be. Okay, so this one finished to 34 plus 16. What is that, 50? 50.
Okay,
50
there
by
you go.
50.
Let's see. Is there a way to make a hexagon quilt without using a hexagon shape? Why, as a matter of fact, Andrea, there is. It's called a half hexagon.
Yes, you don't have to sew
And we
any
have
lines.
a die for that.
Yes.
So we have our large 4-inch side hexagon and a half hexagon. I've been eyeing a pattern using that myself as well. We also have the half hexagon to match the die that has the 3 different sizes of hexagon on it.
Right.
The other way that you can do that is with an equilateral triangle. And incidentally, we got a die for that as well.
Right, so if you go to the website and look up hexagons, you can see all of our half hexes and our equilateral triangles. You just need to make sure they match. There's actually an equilateral triangle die that matches the 3 sizes of the hexagons. That's a great question, though.
That is, that is.
All right, now during the Quilt-Along series, we were asked by many of you when the next Quilt-Along series will begin.
And the good news is you don't have to wait very long.
You don't.
Coming up on April 5th, which is way sooner than you would think, we'll be kicking off our second Quilt-Along series for, drumroll please,
The Go Scrappy Star Log Cabin Quilt. Oh, okay, so we have a sample of one here. Imagine that. Okay.
We have several different versions of this quilt, and we will be using, we have gotten our fabrics already.
Oh my, yes, wait till you see.
So here we go.
Okay, and we have a log cabin die, and there are quite a few of you who maybe own that die and are unfamiliar with how to make it work. So we're gonna go through step by step on how to cut your fabric, how to cut your strips. We're gonna give you storage ideas, but this is the thing I love the most about this quilt. Look at this back.
Look at this backing. This is a scrappy backing. This is the quilt that changed how I thought about backing in my head forever.
Forevermore.
And this is some fun fabric by Elizabeth Hartman.
Yes. Who
we're
I
gonna-
like a lot.
A lot.
I like her.
I like her a lot.
All right, so with the Quilt-Along series, along with the rest of 2023, we're gonna follow the same structure as this one. We're gonna have an introduction show. Each section of the project is split up into parts and a show and tell. So be sure to check out our Facebook page because Eric and I are gonna share some sneak peeks of our fabric.
That's right. Now, these quilt-alongs will all take place on Wednesdays at 12 noon Central Time. So be sure to register for each one as they become available.
Right,
so
they're
keep
not
an
on
eye
the
on the
website yet.
prize
Yep.
so that you can be entered to win a door prize. And I heard a bing, which is otherwise knowing how to.
Question. Also, keep checking our Wednesday events for the next couple of weeks because you might learn a little bit.
So that's when we're going to be doing our kind of introduction show.
Yes.
So you need to keep an eye on Wednesdays coming up at 12 noon Central Time on Pam's AccuQuilt live show that I have invaded for the purposes of this quilt.
Always good to have you here.
And I'm going to continue to invade. So
Yeah,
I
it'll be
might
great.
just show up on a random Wednesday
Yes.
with all that information. But it'll also be in a blog post just like we did this time. AQS will have the information in a blog post as well.
Yes.
We're going to make sure you know on that AQS Quilting Project Parade Facebook group. So many of you jumped in, joined that page. Be sure you join that page. I'll probably post randomly on Instagram. I know you post on Facebook. So
And Instagram
you
as well,
can keep an eye on us. We're gonna keep you in the loop because we want you to have a little bit of time to pick out your fabric.
Well, and also I feel like log cabin is such a traditional pattern. We're going to tell you how to use a rotary cutter to cut it, you know, those instructions as well. But think about maybe your guild is looking for a project to quilt along maybe this spring. Now is really a great time before summer comes, and I know a lot of guilds kind of take some time off during the summer, okay? But before we move on with our show and tell for this Quilt-Along series, we have a special prize for a lucky viewer who registered for today's show.
That's right. We don't want to forget that.
Let's give all this stuff away.
The lucky winner of $100 in AccuQuilt reward points is, drum roll please, It's Valerie A. from Mapleton, Illinois.
Congratulations, Valerie. You're going to love it. All right. And quilters, don't forget, we have plenty of special offers available for you on our website.
That's right. To get your order in, open a new tab in your browser, type in AccuQuilt.com/party to see the deals and place your orders. Now, somebody had a question about that, and they wanted to know if they could phone in to get the same price, and you certainly can.
You can talk to our
also
customer team.
check with your local AccuQuilt retailer. Quite often, they're going to be offering the same promotions, the same sale prices that we are, and they would love to have you there in their store. And it's a great time to visit your local AccuQuilt retailer, stock up on things that you need, learn more about AccuQuilt. If you've just opened your AccuQuilt, or if you're new to AccuQuilt with this quilt along, this is a great time to look into more classes at your local retailer. See if there's a Go Club. Lots of them have Go Clubs.
Yes.
So that you can really stay connected and learn more about your cutter.
And if you're coming to the AQS Branson show next week, I will be there next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And you can check out our AccuQuilt product at the Be So In booth in Branson.
That's right.
And Barbara Harper's going to be there showing you how to cut and sew fabric, or cut fabric.
The one and only.
She's amazing. All right, do we have any more questions before we go?
Will we be able to use a layer cake for the log cabin quilt? I'm going to say no, but possibly, because I don't want to spill all the details.
Yeah, we don't want to. We'll talk about it.
That wouldn't be my first choice for you, but I think that we might be able to come up with a solution for you so that it could work. But your quilt would be different than what you saw earlier.
Right. Because remember, the log cabin quilt die, and we'll talk about it, you can make blocks any size.
They're trying to make us spill all the beans.
I know.
We're not going to do it.
We're not going for it.
We're going to make you wait.
All right, it's time for Eric and I to get ready for our next show. We hope that today's show and tell has inspired you in so many ways to dream up your next project, or maybe you're going to make another Go Stars in the Crown Throw Quilt.
That's right. Now stay tuned for a montage. We've got lots more quilt projects that were sent in by our viewers. And be sure to check out that AQS blog as well to see all of those projects posted. See you next time.
Much for watching. To learn more about your quilting craft, be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for live events every Tuesday and Wednesday. You can check out the events page on the AccuQuilt website for more details on upcoming shows. And if you're looking for even more inspiration, visit our blog for exclusive tutorials filled with tips and tricks. And remember, at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time so you can quilt more.
Check our website today for our exciting announcement about our AQ Plus circle that started today.
And don't forget to check out our events page to register for upcoming events. Register for each event means that you're entered to win a door prize that we'll give away during the show.
Join us every Tuesday at 12 noon Central Time for launch parties and trunk shows. These events are filled with more tips, tricks, and inspiration. Next time, we'll be relaunching a former Die to Try series die that is sure to preserve your quilting legacy.
And don't forget to join me every Wednesday at 12 noon Central Time for AccuQuilt Live. We have tons of fun. Next time, we're creating one of the projects for this month's Die to Try, the Go Palm 8-inch finished die. I can't wait for you to tune in and follow along.